Who is the best striker in each UFC weight class? That is what we are going to be discussing in this very video, as I am going to be declaring who I think the best striker in each UFC weight class is right now. So we're going to start with the flyweight division, and then we will end with the heavyweight division. So first up, we got flyweight. I think Joshua Van is the best striker in the flyweight division. Now, I will say this. I think that flyweight was probably my toughest call in terms of who the best striker is. Now, to me, it's very clear that Joshua Van, he's the best boxer in the weight class. Joshua Van's one of the best boxers in the UFC. And I think Josh Van is one of the best boxers that we have ever seen in MMA. And the crazy thing about Van is this dude, to me, might not even be in the peak of his prime yet. He is that young in the game. He's a world champion and just defended his belt for the very first time against a phenom of a grappler in Tatsuro Taira. So Joshua Van, this dude is only going to get better. And what we have seen from him so far, outside of getting knocked out by that crabby, safety veteran that is Charles Johnson, Joshua Van's hands are nasty. Fights beautifully behind the jab. The right hand follows, rips nasty combos to the body. We see him mix in some calf kicks as well. Joshua Van, the takedown defense is improving. And if you are stuck on the feet with this guy, there are not many dudes that are going to be able to deal with him. Now, the reason I said that this division, to me, I could see some potential arguments is because Manel Kape, that dude looks like he's fighting in the Matrix. In a division that is known for speed, cardio, technique, Manel Kape, to me, stands out when it comes to the speed, the explosiveness, and the power. But what I've seen from Joshua Van at the highest level right now, what he was able to do to Tatsuro Taira, the back and forth that he had with Brandon Royval, was able to drop him late in the fight. What we've seen from Van, his body of work, his boxing is elite. And for those reasons, I got him as the best striker in this weight class. Like I said, flyweight's deep. You got Kyoji Horiguchi. You got Brandon Royval. You got Lonnie Cavanaugh. You got some absolute studs on the rise in the flyweight division like an Imanol Rodriguez. But I got to go with the champ man, who I think has some of the best hands we have ever seen in mixed martial arts. Joshua Van, best striker in the flyweight division right now. Next, we got Bantamweight. It's got to be Petr Yan. Now, I think you could argue that Sean O'Malley is right there with Petr Yan, right? Obviously, the first time they fought, I hope we get a rematch at some point, and hopefully it'll be a 5-rounder. Petr Yan, to me, is not only the best striker in the Bantamweight division, he's easily one of the best strikers in the UFC and easily one of the best strikers and most skilled fighters of all time. What he was able to do to Merab in the rematch was absolutely spectacular. We have not seen anybody do that to Merab. And I think that Petr Yan has figured out Merab Dvalishvili. He realizes that, listen, as long as my gas tank is right, I can stuff these takedowns, I can rip to the body, and I can mix things up very well. I've got the answers for that machine. That is Merab Dvalishvili, and everything we've seen from Yan throughout his career. I know it's been a long time since we've seen him knock somebody out, but the damage that this dude is able to do, the way that he can switch stances and blend the boxing with the Muay Thai and these spinning techniques, this is a complete fighter. Like, Petr Yan is just an elite all-around fighter. Like, he's literally good at everything. He can wrestle, maybe not the greatest submission threat, but Yan is elite at everything else. Beautiful jab, excellent uppercuts, devastating knees and elbows in close. His kicking game is nasty. The way that he rips kicks to the body, rips the boxing combos to the body, have Merab squealing and screaming in there. Petr Yan's elite. And then to go in there against the other guy, who I think would be the other best striker in the weight class, in Sean O'Malley, they had some good back and forths. To be in there, landing good shots on Sean O'Malley. O'Malley was landing some good shots on him. To go out there and knock out Jose Aldo and put him away like he did, Petr Yan is a smooth operator on the feet, man. He is a striking wizard. Petr Yan, best striker in the Bantamweight division, one of the best that we have ever seen. He's so fun to watch, man. An absolute maestro in there. Featherweight, it's got to be Volkanovski. Alexander Volkanovski, I think he's a top 5 fighter of all time, but also Alexander Volkanovski's striking is incredibly high level. And what's so fascinating about Volk's game to me is a lot of it is built around the jab. It's built around those chippy little leg kicks to kind of gauge the distance, wear at your base. But really his footwork and movement is some of the best we've ever seen. Like the way that Volk is able to skirt along the octagon side, right? Twitch his shoulders, bait you and pull you into shots. He's just so high level. Right, we know that his grappling is very good. He's a hard guy to take down. The shots he was landing on Islam Makhachev in the first fight, right, outscoring Diego Lopez for a total of 50 minutes, basically. I mean, to be locked in there twice with one of the most dangerous fighters we've ever seen in the featherweight division, and you have to be perfect for 25 minutes, back-to-back fights. That's incredibly impressive. Was having a ton of success against Ilia Topuria in the first round. Beat Max Holloway 3 times, outstriking one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the UFC, one of the best volume strikers that now is looking like a knockout artist at 155 in Max Holloway. So it shows the levels of Volk. We saw what he was able to do to Zombie as well. I know that was Zombie a little later in his career. Volkanovski has went out there and outstruck and outsmarted some of the most dangerous guys and high-level guys we have seen in the featherweight division. Volkanovski, an all-time great, to me, clearly still the best overall striker in the featherweight division right now. He's champ for a reason, man. Next, lightweight. It's got to be Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, I've been saying, is not only the best boxer in the UFC, I think he's the most elite boxer we've ever seen in MMA. And I've went as far to say as you could literally pick up Ilia Topuria out of the octagon, drop him in a ring with a high-level professional elite boxer, one of these big-name guys out there. And I think Ilia Topuria would give them a run for their money, if not even beat them. Like, I think Ilia Topuria could beat some of these guys, man. He is that high level of a boxer. And the thing about Ilia is every single fight, right? When you watch the way that he fought against Jai Herbert, you see the Bryce Mitchell fight, you see the Volkanovski fight, the Emmett fight, the Holloway fight, the Oliveira fight. You see him tighten up the technique even more from fight to fight. And we got, Freedom 250 coming up. I think Ilia is going to knock out Justin Gaethje. Ilia Topuria's boxing is so elite, man. And that calf kick, I've been saying, is the unsung hero of this crazy run that he is on right now. Like Volk has a ton of footwork, great movement. Arguably the best striker we've ever seen at featherweight, right? I know Ilia was a featherweight at one point, but I'm saying in terms of the all-around skills, the movement, the body of work that Volk put in, and Ilia was able to chop away at the calf, make Volk more of a sitting duck. I think that caught Volk by surprise, made him more of a stationary target to where he could eventually catch him with the boxing combos. The same thing against Holloway. His counter-punching was next level in that fight. Right, the stuff he was doing with the lead hand, blinding Holloway's vision, right, trapping his lead hand, Ilia hiding his eyes to fire off those combos, right? And I mean, Ilia is a very well-rounded fighter. He's got a high-level ground game as well. But man, that calf kick, he used it against Holloway as well. Attacks the lead leg, slows down your movement, makes you more of a stationary target. And that's where he comes in with the elite precision with the boxing. And it's not just the offense with the boxing of Ilia Topuria, right? It's the technique, the power, the way that he's able to land these shots. But man, he throws in beautiful combinations. And everything he throws, it's got murderous intent behind it. There's no wasted movement from Ilia. He's got that beautiful shoulder roll. He's got that, the chin tucked, shoulders rolled forward, a beautiful high guard, excellent head movement. This dude is an elite boxer. He's got the stance. Everything about Ilia spells elite level striking in MMA. And one of the advantages he has is he pulls you into these boxing matches, into that phone booth range, to where he has a huge advantage over basically everybody that he has fought and is going to fight. Ilia Topuria, to me, clearly the best striker in the lightweight division. The calf kick and his boxing is so elite, it puts him a step above everybody else. When you flatline Volk, you knock out Max Holloway, and then you flatline Charles Oliveira with ease, you clearly are something special. Ilia Topuria is a different breed. He's the best striker in the lightweight division. Next, welterweight. I don't think there's really much argument for this outside of, you could say, Ian Machado Gary, but I have to go Carlos Prates due to the fact that he has devastating knockout power. And I think if you run it back with Ian Gary, I think Prates is able to finish the job. Now, we saw Prates have, Gary in some trouble later on in the fight, but Ian Gary was kind of schooling Prates, right? So I understand the argument of, well, Prates' only loss was to Ian Gary, so Ian Gary's the better striker. To me, it's one of those things, styles make fights. I think with some adjustments, the version that we've seen from Prates recently, I think he has made some massive improvements in his MMA striking game that would give him a lot better of a chance against Gary in a rematch. But I think Ian Gary's probably right up there with Prates. I have him at number 2, probably behind Carlos Prates. With Carlos in there, it reminds me of Alex Pereira, but at welterweight. He's got that tall, lanky frame. He's just kind of, the hands are down, moving. We saw a lot more feints from Carlos, especially recently in that absolute butchering of a masterclass he put on against JDM. And JDM was a guy that a lot of people were thinking was one of the better boxers in the UFC, and you wouldn't have known it against Carlos. I mean, Carlos barely got hit. Right, he's got that Muay Thai background, devastating knockout power, the knees up the middle, the elbows, the knee to the body, right? We saw him take out Charles Radke with that. The calf kicks, he wears at your base. You start to shell up, he pries at the guard, throws the knees up the middle, and I don't have to tell you about the left hand, do I? I mean, the Carlos Prates left hand is an absolute shotgun. It goes straight down the pipe. We saw him be the only person to knock out Leon Edwards. I think was the first to knock out Jeff Neal with that nasty spinning elbow. Everything about Carlos Prates is devastating, from the movement, the power, the strike selection. He's very high fight IQ, and I feel like that loss, we heard him talk about it, losing to Ian Gary. Better with the lateral movement, better with the footwork, and a lot more feints, which is something that he put on display very well against a high-level boxer in Jack Della Maddalena. To me, Carlos Prates, the best striker in this weight class with the improved footwork, right? He's got that Muay Thai background, so light on the lead leg, kind of stationary and very linear. We've seen his striking kind of adapt more to operating in an octagon with a lot more footwork and movement going side to side, and I think that that's going to serve him well moving forward, especially in a potential rematch against a high-level guy with great footwork in Ian Gary. But with the knockout threat, the fight IQ, Carlos Prates, to me, he's the best striker in the welterweight division, and we all know that you can't get hit clean by him. He can put anybody away. Middleweight, Sean Strickland. Now, I've kind of went back and forth a little bit because I do believe that Nassourdine Imavov could potentially be the best striker in the weight class, and I think that there's a very good argument there. And I think there's an argument where you could say Dricus du Plessis, even though it's, very Looney Tunes-like and he's stumbling and bumbling all over the place, put on a great performance against Sean Strickland in the rematch, right? Was able to shut him down, was able to outscore him really easily. But the bottom line is, when Sean Strickland is on his game, one, he beat Nassourdine Imavov on like a couple days' notice. Right, so the fact that Imavov had a full camp, and I know he got pulled up a weight class, and there were some circumstances there for both fighters. Strickland still took it on short notice, and he went in there, and Imavov had some moments early, but outside of that, Strickland just kind of had his way with him. Was moving forward, was putting the pressure on him, landing good combinations, and that was a really fun fight to watch, which is one of the reasons I want to see the rematch. But Sean Strickland, to me, won the first Dricus du Plessis fight. He went in there, jabbed DDP's face off, teeped him to the gut over and over and over again, and we've seen Sean Strickland is one of these guys that it's not like a Prates where he's moving all over the place, or a Poatan where it looks real cool, it's real flashy. It's not the flashiest of styles, but it's unbelievably efficient and very, very effective. I think Sean Strickland has the best striking defense in the UFC, so for me, grading, that goes a long way. I think he has the best jab in the UFC, and I think that his front kicks, I know we say jabs and teeps, it's very, very effective. Batters the midsection, pushes you back, can dictate the range. The way that he was able to go to the body with that knee against Fluffy Hernandez and TKO him up along the fence. The way that he was able to put in some work against a speedy, lightning-fast puncher in Nassourdine Imavov and was able to solve him on short notice is wildly impressive. The way that he was able to just kind of pick apart DDP in the first fight, even though he didn't win on the cards, I thought he won. Right, so a close fight with Dricus, who's very powerful, very explosive, has really, really good kicks. Sean Strickland was checking a lot of kicks, defending very well. He's got a good straight right hand that he lets go down the middle. And I know we saw Hamzat land some good shots on him, but that jab just can't miss, man. And with the elite defense that Sean brings to the table, with that piston of a jab, a good straight right hand behind it, we saw him drop Adesanya with it. We have seen Strickland go in there with some of the most dangerous guys that we have ever seen in this weight class and find ways to beat them in predominantly striking fights. And even if it's a guy like Hamzat that can take him down, we saw him get back to the feet and be able to outscore Chimaev when it came to the striking. So Sean Strickland, to me, one of these guys, it's not this flashy, bouncing around, crazy one-shot knockout power. That's not his game. very efficient with the cardio, very defensively responsible, and he can just pick you apart. And once he finds the timing and you start to slow down, he's an avalanche. We saw that against Fluffy Hernandez. We saw it against Brendan Allen back in the day. And up until he got knocked out by Poatan, he was actually doing good. Was landing some good jabs, was checking a bunch of Poatan's leg kicks, which no one really has the answers for. I think Sean Strickland does a lot of things very fundamentally well. You don't go across the world, basically, and outstrike Israel Adesanya and put on a clinic offensively and defensively, beat a devastating striker like Nasruddin Imavov, who's very, very explosive, and have a competitive fight with a wild guy like DDP, who's got some sneaky fast kicks if you aren't a high-level striker. I think right now, Imavov could potentially be that guy. But given off of what I've seen from the body of work, considering Strickland has a victory over him, and one that was pretty convincing to me since I watched it back recently, Sean Strickland, best striker in the middleweight division right now, in my opinion. Light heavyweight. We know that Alex Pineda just moved up to the heavyweight division. He'll be fighting Cyril Gane at UFC Freedom 250. Now that he's out of the division, maybe he comes back. I don't know. I'm just going off of the fact that he's a heavyweight right now. Carlos Alberg is the best striker in the light heavyweight division. And assuming maybe Poatan comes back or not, I'm just pretending for this video that he's not. He's a heavyweight now. I believe Alberg is the best striker, and I believe Magomed Ankalaev, Roundtree, right? Even Yuri Prohaska, Yuri's flaw is his defense, but when he hits a flow state, Yuri's good. Ankalaev, very, very technical, was able to outstrike Alex in the first fight, has lightning fast boxing, and Roundtree's got excellent Muay Thai. But I think when push comes to shove, Alberg is clearly the best striker with Poatan not around in this division right now. It's got to be Alberg. He's got a nasty left hook. He knocked out Yuri Prohaska on one leg. Right, blew out his knee and is just standing in there and KO'd Yuri with a left hook. That's insane. One of the most incredible things I've seen in the history of the sport. Was able to knock him out. The way he set up Dominic Reyes, right, bouncing very light on his toes, right? He's got that kickboxing background, that nasty jab, right? You want to blitz him, a powerful puncher like Alonzo Menefield, who's kind of been putting on some nice performances, right? Just took out Zhang Minyang, right? Menefield's been looking kind of good recently. Bum rushed Alberg, and Alberg was like, what are you doing? Boom, and just teed off on him. Caught him early. Can set up the left hook beautifully. That jab is nasty. It's fast. And the way that he can pull you into that right hand, just like he did against Dominic Reyes. Carlos Alberg, ton of knockouts, nasty calf kicks, mixes up things very, very well. And for his size, how light he is on his feet, how he can slide in and out of range, I think Carlos Alberg is the best striker at 205. One of the big reasons he has the belt right now, he's on a crazy win streak. And I think his counter-striking is elite, the way that he can pull you into his shots. And defensively, a very, very difficult guy to hit clean. Carlos Alberg is an absolute savage at 205, man. One of the best strikers all around in the UFC. And Poatan, he's the guy known for having that nasty left hook. Alberg's got a lightning-fast check hook that we saw him land on Yuri quite a few times, and we've seen throughout his entire career. And the way that he smoked Dominic Reyes, I know Reyes is chinny, it was still very impressive. Last but not least, heavyweight, right? He's at heavyweight now. It's got to be Alex Pineda, man. This guy, I think, is going to, he's going to be fighting Cyril Gane. I think it's going to be a tough fight, but I do believe Alex, at the time of me recording this is leading up to Freedom 250. I think Alex can beat Cyril Gane. Alex Pineda is one of the most high-level strikers we've ever seen, right? Regardless of combat sport, right? Obviously, he was a double champ over in Glory. I was super excited to see him into the UFC, come into the UFC, and look what he's been able to do at 185. Right? Having a lot of moments against Izzy in the first fight. Even though Izzy was definitely winning, he had a ton of moments. Right? And then he was able to, later in the fight, catch him with the left hook. Right? Was able to knock out Sean Strickland. And look how well of a win that's aged. Right? Because look how good Strickland is. And look how good he's been against super high-level guys in the middleweight division. Guys that haven't been able to get Strickland out of there. And Poatan set him up beautifully. Jab to the body, boom, left hook right around the guard. Alex Pineda is a high-level tactician on the feet. The calf kicks are the best we've ever seen. He can throw front kicks. The head kicks come up sneaky fast. That switch high kick that he threw against Yuri Prohaska. He's got that nasty right hand that he can throw down the pipe. The overhand right that we saw him put Ankalaev away, in the rematch. He's got really, really good cage cutting off ability, right? His forward pressure. We see a lot of guys like, Diego Lopez, and they kind of move forward and pressure you, but they don't cut the cage off very well. Poatan has smothering pressure, cuts the cage off at an elite level, from his calf kicks to the jab to setting up the left hook to flying knees. Poatan can absolutely do it all, and he does a really good job at checking kicks as well, something I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily give him credit for. He's very good at checking kicks. We've seen him go in there against some of the most high-level strikers in the UFC. Adesanya, I know he got knocked out in the second fight, but man, it was really looking like it was going his way. Shredding the legs of Adesanya, got careless with the defense, got KO'd. We've seen this guy in there against some very dangerous strikers like a Yuri Prohaska, to where he was able to knock him out twice, knocked out Jamal Hill, put away a dangerous Muay Thai style of striker like Roundtree, blitzed on Kalaev and got him out of there. I think Alex Pineda, I know that he hasn't fought at heavyweight yet, but him moving up, I'm classifying him as a heavyweight. Now, obviously, does he have the most punching power in this weight class? No, right? You got Derek Lewis, you got Tom Aspinall, you got Sergey Pavlovich, guys like that are just the natural heavyweights that have been their entire career, right? And I would say that Cyril Gane's right up there as well in terms of being, the best striker in the heavyweight division. We'll see how the fight plays out, right? He moves like a cat, really fast, good reflexes, some solid power as well. Not the heaviest hitting heavyweight out there, but a lot of it is his feet aren't always planted. He's sticking around, playing the hit and don't get hit kind of game. Great striking variety for a heavyweight, but I got to go with Poatan Pineda. Volkov's up there as well, right? One of the most underrated fighters of all time, one of the best heavyweights I think that we've ever seen. Volkov's very high level, but it's got to be Pineda, man. One of the most dangerous strikers and most high-level strikers that we have ever seen, and his fight IQ is second to none, man. I think Poatan is one of the best to ever do it. I got to have him as the best striker at heavyweight. But if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a like. Let me know if you agree with my list down in the comments. If you disagree, who you have as the best striker in that particular weight class. And if you're new, if you could subscribe to the channel so you do not miss an upload, I would greatly appreciate it. I will see you next time.